Welcome to the official press conference for the Nigerian Center. We are very excited about the proclamation that Mayor Bowser recently released on October 1st, officially making October 1st not only Nigeria's Independence Day, happy 62nd, but also Nigerian American Day in DC. So this is a very exciting proposition. Today we're going to hear from community organizers, from lawyers about the immigration clinic. It's going to be a really fun-filled experience, and we're looking forward to having everyone. I'm going to ask folks who are part of the dais when I call your name to come and sit down, and everyone will have about 3 minutes for remarks. But before we do that, I wanted to share a little story and sort of connect the dots on why the Nigerian Center is so important. Um, my dad immigrated here in the late 60s, and when he tells the story, he came just to come and see. He just wanted to see what abroad was like. He was born in Abeokuta, so he was, he was a bit of a wild man out in the streets doing his thing. And when he and when he came to when he came to the United States, he talks about having his act right out, and he was doing his thing. He was like, I'm a chief, and he was doing his thing. But he had to work, so he got this visa. He comes here, he squats with a couple of his friends, and they're out here just hustling. So my dad drove cabs. He was a dishwasher. He talks about the dishwasher job paying like $1.15 an hour at the time. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, but I could eat all the food I want. So I kept that job. So he was really just in there just making money. At some point, his visa expires. Come on in. Don't be shy. At some point, his visa expires, and he's basically undocumented. At the time, he had walked down New Street one day and ran into someone who owned a mechanic shop. So 14th and U apparently used to be all industrial. And in Nigeria, he was a panel beater, so he used to beat the dents out of cars. So he goes up to this man. He's like, hey, I know how to do this work because my dad's trying to hustle. He's trying to get this money. And the guy's like, let me see. So he shows him. He's like, well, that's cute, but in America, this is how we do it. So this man, this man hires my dad. He's working with him. And at this point, my dad has saved up thousands and thousands of dollars. His visa has expired, and he's like, I know they're going to come get me. So he would tape all the money to his body and be just walking around DC with thousands of dollars taped to him just in case he got picked up and sent back home. Um, at some point, he realized that, he might tell this man this is what's happening. So he tells his boss, hey, you may not see me because I might get picked up. Just want to let you know. And the manager or the owner of the shop says, well, what's the issue? He explains the issue. He goes, makes a call. He says, here, go to this office in Baltimore at this time next week. So my dad tells me at this point he's convinced that the owner of the shop is in cahoots with the government and it's just a ploy to deport him. But he goes anyway because what else does he have to do? He gets interviewed by this man, and he said at this point, I'm sweating. Every sweat is everywhere because he just knows that he's about to be deported. And the man comes out and gives him a residency card and says, congratulations, Mr. Okade, you're a permanent resident. Because of that sponsorship, my dad was able to stay in this country. The first time he comes to America is like the first time he doesn't go back home for years. He brings my mother over, and this before you is a result of that marriage, along with my four other siblings. So I say this to say that when I think about my dad's story, I often wonder what his life would have been like if there was a Nigeria Center that he could have gone to get help. Because he basically didn't say anything to anyone and was just stressed out and, looking over his shoulder after his papers ran out. So I'm very, very excited that this is happening. I'm really proud of Benga. I've known Benga for quite some time, and I'm really excited that we're going to get to talk a little bit about what he's doing and the importance of the upcoming immigration clinic. So without further ado, let me get my notes. I'd like to bring to the stage our first set of remarks. Benga Ogujimi, the founder and CEO of the Nigerian Center. Come on down. Y'all could do better than that. Come on. So proud of you. Next, I'd like to bring Ali Kaba, who's the director of the Mayor's Office of African Affairs, to the dais. I'm sorry. Okay. What's your name? Semha Hagos. Okay, thank you. Standing in for Ali Kaba. Next, we have Peter Adako, who is the representative of the Nigerian ambassador to the United States. Please come on down. Welcome. And then finally, for this particular portion, Dr. Oye Owelewa, who is the U.S. representative. Yes. Please begin.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for coming to the Nigerian Center. And thank you for coming to our press conference for the 62nd anniversary of the country of Nigeria. But more importantly, to us in the diaspora, we have an historic moment. Over the weekend, the mayor proclaimed October 1st as the Nigerian American Day. Can we give it up for that? So this is our opportunity to recognize the significance of this moment and also to begin our immigration walk-in clinic. As a result of that, I want to tell a very quick story of my own immigration story. I like to say my coming to America story. Everyone in this room has an immigration story. Everyone in this room has a coming to America story. Mine happened at the Atlanta International Airport. I was coming back after previously being in the country on a State Department program. I'd started a nonprofit organization doing international service, taking talent from corporate America and connecting them to startup organizations on the continent of Africa. You can think about that as a Peace Corps for startups on the continent. And at the Atlanta International Airport, I had this defining moment. And it was my turn to be checked in and spoke to the immigration officer. And he asked what my mission was in the United States. If you're Nigerian, we have a response called Let My People Go. I want to see my cousin. I want to see my brother. I'm here for a conference. You get in, do your business, and get out. On this moment, I decided. On this day, I decided to break the script. I told the immigration custom officer that I was coming back to the United States to continue to run a business I'd previously started. And he said, whoa, 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 whoa. You are not authorized to walk in the United States. You are a visitor, and I cannot authorize your entry to the United States. I've been in America for a while. I know what it means to speak to a manager. So I said, can I speak to someone else? I didn't say your supervisor, but I said, can I speak to someone? Yes. He said, sure, you can. I was escorted to the waiting room. You've seen in the television those rooms, they saw you through glass walls. You can see what was going on the outside. And there were a lot of people there from various countries. And one by one, I saw them being put back on the flight. They would not see the United States of America. They would not come to the land of opportunity. I was given a second opportunity, and I was asked to state my mission again. And I stated a new identity, and that identity was an international entrepreneur. I believe that I'm in this environment to create businesses and to create economic opportunities. They did the investigation, they called me back, they said, your story checks out. We are providing you an advisory to explore the extraordinary ability in business. And I was led into the United States. Over the weekend, the mayor declared October 1st as the Nigerian American Day. And in that proclamation, she broke the mold. The identity of being seen as a refugee, as a war people fleeing war-torn countries. She called us civic leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. And for me, it was a moment of manifestation, of an aspiration of this idea that the Nigerian American can come here in an identity that contributes and add value and increases the prosperity of the United States. And that is why we are here today. Today, you're going to be hearing from several community organizations like NAPAC, the National Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee, you're going to be hearing from NIDO, the Nigerian Diaspora in the Americas. You're going to be hearing from the Association of Physicians in America. You're going to be hearing from the Nigerian American Lawyers Organization. So what does these names have to do with what we're here today? Every of this organization, they are also breaking the mold. They are changing the narrative of Nigerians in America. They are increasing the front lines of what it means to rise to the highest echelons of various professions. Back in the day, yes, we know us, we drove your cabs and the yellow cabs and the ride taxis, but they are changing that identity. And we have here also, you're going to be hearing from the very first Nigerian American elected at the highest office in this country. One commonality all this group have in common is immigration. Because without immigration, with all due respect, you cannot become the first Nigerian American in Congress. Without immigration, you cannot become a surgeon. Without immigration, you cannot become an attorney. Even should you be offered scholarship in a university, you cannot even accept it. You can buy a home. You cannot buy a house. You cannot start a job. You cannot contribute. And that is why our center is important. It's important that we now have a walk-in center right here at the nation's capital. And every Nigerian immigrant that comes with the idea that this is truly the land of opportunity, they can now have a shot and a possibility to be a Nigerian American. I am currently not yet an American, but I aspire to be one. And today, whether you come to this country from Nigeria 400 years ago, or whether you come to this country from Nigeria 4 years ago or 4 months ago, we now have a shared identity, and that is Nigerian American. And we now have what it takes to collectively shape our prosperity and our reality as a people. That is why we have the immigration walk-in clinic. Oftentimes, when you think of immigration in America, people from the continent of Africa are often left off the conversation. We cannot cross the border. So majority of us come here legally to this country, but we are not considered as part of policy. We are not considered, and I really salute what the mayor has done and investment of Washington, D.C. in the Nigerian Center to be able to open this clinic today. So that is why we are here today. I want to thank you so much for coming. I want to stop talking and give my colleagues an opportunity to talk. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Ogunjimi, founder of the Nigerian Center, distinguished guest, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for welcoming me. My name is Semha Hagos, and I'm the Grants Manager and Public Information Officer at the Mayor's Office of African Affairs. I'm here on behalf of our Director, Ali Kaba. The Mayor's Office on African Affairs is the only African Affairs office at the municipal level in the nation, and it is mandated by Mayor Muriel Bowser to ensure that a full range of health, education, employment, and social services are available to the African communities in the district, and to support their social integration, civic engagement, and economic development. There's so much respect and admiration for the Nigerian community in DC, which represents the second largest African community in the nation's capital. Applause. Whether it's through educational achievement or solid entrepreneurial drive, Nigerians in the district contribute significantly to our city's economic vitality and social diversity. The Mayor's Office on African Affairs thanks the Nigerian Center for providing a full range of services and resources to DC's Nigerian community, and also reaching them in a way that is culturally and linguistically familiar and sensitive to them. We look forward to continued support of the Nigerian Center and partnership, and congratulations again.
Dr. Ogunjimi, other promoters of this, the Nigerian Center, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Nigerian Embassy is delighted to be invited to this event and to identify with this worthy initiative. Um, it's a timely intervention in the immigration space in the United States, especially as it affects Nigerians who seek to immigrate to the US. The center, as I understand it, will offer much needed services in helping these immigrants to integrate into the US community. As you all very well know, Nigerians who overwhelmingly come here because of educational purposes. They intend to advance their learning in various fields, and the data shows that significant numbers often stay back and become U.S. citizens. We're very happy to identify with the center's the Nigerian Center's determination to help these people to integrate as quickly as possible into American life. We thank the host community, the Office of the Mayor of DC, especially in making the proclamation on the Nigeria American Day for October 1 of every year. We're happy with that initiative, and we thank the Office of the Mayor of DC. We remind all gathered here that in the last few days, Nigeria has been celebrating her 62nd independence anniversary, and our host here, the U.S. government, have been strategic partners over the years. The relations between both countries have been excellent, and we look forward to more robust relations in the years ahead. Call on the Nigerian Center and promoters to reach out to us more strategic fashion so that we can collaborate, because the embassy serves as uh, primarily calling place for all Nigerians in America, and in partnership with you, we hope to help afford these Nigerians the best services possible. So thank you for the initiative. Thank you all for turning up here for this event. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, great. So, first of all, Benga, I want to thank you for having me here. And thank you for bringing together the Nigerian Center. And thank you for all the panelists for being up here sharing these words. And as I was here today, I was tasked with speaking on my immigration story. My story is a little bit different because I was born in the States. But I want to bring it back to where my parents came to this country and how America is responsible for me being here. You see, my parents actually did not meet in Nigeria. They actually met here when they both separately came to university. And it was a classic Romeo and Juliet story. My dad's from a different side of the town. My mom's from a wealthier side, the different religions. They would not have been able to meet and stay together in Nigeria. So not only did education in America bring them to meet each other, it also brought them together to stay together. And they together gave birth to 5 children, which was me and number 4, and provided us an opportunity to not only excel academically or share that wisdom from them, but also to give back, right? My parents taught me that if you have $2 to give 3, so you can work to get that third and give more. And upon going to university and caring for my community, I realized it was more than just collect a check and to just go home and collect your money and do your thing. That being Nigerian means giving back and the sense of how to make your community better. So upon coming to Washington, D.C., not only was I able to find people to help, but there was so many experiences, so many people that they met who were Nigerian that gave us an opportunity to break that barrier. So when I found out about the Nigerian Center, what gravitated to me was the sense of purpose. That this was ideologically maybe for Nigerian Americans or Nigerians in the diaspora, but there's so many other people that could benefit. And that brought me back to what it takes to be a Nigerian. That's not about where you're born or what last name you have, but the intelligence and the opportunity to give to other folks. Benga's being extremely generous and humble about what he's saying. They're providing immigration services to people at little to no cost. That A small stipend or a small amount of money can give you thousands of dollars worth of information. That you can put all this information online or put it on a website, but people want to be handheld. People want that experience. People want to make sure that they are talking to the right people. And this organization is taking care of that. And not just immigration, but culture, teaching people the language. We're talking about home buying, giving people resources. We're talking about public service, giving people a chance to be involved in the community and giving people a chance to be served. When I first ran for U.S. Representative, I was thinking about the 700,000 people in the district that lack voting rights. But as we got closer and closer and closer to Election Day, we realized there's so many other people that deserve representation as well, including the Nigerian diaspora, including young people that don't see themselves represented, including people that are first and second generation Americans who are trying to find their way. But this is what it's about. Organizations like the Nigerian Center that give 10 times fold to the community. This is what it's about. Having a mayor that understands the contributions of people from other cultures. That we are a blending pot, not only of this country, but also being the capital of the greatest country in the history of the world. So I'm very excited about the opening of the Nigerian Center. I'm very excited about the mayor's proclamation of Nigerian American Day, because this serves as the beginning of other cultures seeing themselves being supported, seeing themselves being celebrated, most importantly, seeing themselves being shared. Because we are far more similar than different. And I thank you again for your leadership. I'm excited about all the organizations that are collaborating to make this successful.
So shortly, Dr. Oye will be reading the proclamation once again from the mayor's office. I'm going to pass the microphone back to him.
So as everybody can see, the proclamation is over there, but I want to read it as well for people in the back and people who want to just hear me. So, from the office of the mayor, Mayor Bowser, she writes as follows. On October 1st, 2022, she proclaims Nigerian American Day. Whereas, the 1st of October marks the 62nd anniversary of Nigerian independence, and whereas, the District of Columbia has one of the largest Nigerian immigration populations in our nations, and DC residents salute the contributions of Nigerian Americans as civic leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs, whereas Nigerian music and art, particularly Afrobeats in Hollywood, enrich the cultural economy and strengthen cultural ties in our nation's capital, whereas the Nigerian Center, an immigrant and cultural center in Washington, D.C., provides a platform for the African diaspora to learn about their Nigerian heritage and expands pathways for recently arrived Nigerian immigrants to become Nigerian Americans. Whereas the city's Office of African Affairs works with the Nigerian Center to foster economic inclusion and advancement to promote Nigerian culture. Now, therefore, I, or she, the mayor of Washington, D.C., do hereby proclaim October 1st, 2022 as Nigerian American Day in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much to members of the dais. I'm going to ask you can go back to your seats. We're going to call up the next group of people. How's everybody doing? This is great, right? I would like to do a couple of acknowledgments in the audience, just so that you know who's here. First of all, Chris Paul of the Washington Commanders is in the building. Hello, how are you? Also, I do want to acknowledge the art that you are seeing here to my left, your right, and the art that will be outside when we go for networking. These are pieces by Ambassador Chinedu Felix Osuchukwu, who is also a special appointee of the DC Humanities Council, and the first Nigerian to receive the Mayor's Arts Award in Arts and Education. Felix, there he is. Thank you, Ambassador, for blessing us with your art. Okay, so now we're moving into our community organizations. I'm going to invite the following people up to the dais. Ms. Chinwe Badua, Nigerian American Lawyers Association. Dr. Toyin Okwesanmi, Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee. Ms. Abi Jinadu, Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, America's the DC chapter. And rounding us out, Dr. Aham Onike, Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas. Is the microphone? Where's the mic? The second microphone. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chinwe Padua, and I am the president of the Nigerian American Lawyers Association, also known as NALA. Founded in 2015, NALA has the immense privilege of championing initiatives that financially support law school students, provide mentorship to freshly minted attorneys, offer networking and continuing legal education for the legal community, assist in the transition from being a Nigerian lawyer to obtaining your American bar license. We also host outreach programs that informs the community of their legal rights while providing access to the attorneys in the organization. We have 2 annual outreach programs. We have the Family Law and the Immigration Law Seminar. In both seminars, we have a panel of attorneys who provide substantive law and free consultation to the community. We have the Family Law Seminar coming up Saturday on November 5th, 10 o'clock via Zoom. And then the Immigration Law Seminar will be on Saturday, February 4th, 2023, also via Zoom. For more information on our organization, and programs, please go to our website. That's nalausa.org, and that is NALAUSA.org. At this time, I would like to congratulate Benga Ogunjimi, the founder of the Nigerian Center, his team, and everyone who contributed to the success of today on their achievement for founding the first immigrant and cultural center for the Nigerian diaspora in the United States. I commend their answer to the call of service, and I pledge that NALA will work alongside you to provide access to legal services needed by the community. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming. I am Dr. Toyin Okwesanmi, a family practitioner, HIV specialist, and I treat substance use disorder, licensed in Maryland and DC. I love to work with the underserved and minorities. I love bridging health disparities across communities. My passion to bridge health disparities leads me to do health fairs with, one of my colleagues is actually there. She doesn't like her name mentioned, but we do health fairs nationally, medical missions internationally to Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana. You also might have come across my Medical Mondays with Dr. O, a program that is Zoomed and live streamed on YouTube and Facebook every Monday night at 7 p.m. to disseminate medical information and help prevent disease entities. In my career path, I have encountered many people of substance and in high positions. I have leveraged these relationships to support people of different interests, especially in the political landscape. And since it's natural for me to serve our communities, I gravitated to NAPAC, the Nigerian American Political Affairs Committee. In my role as the chairperson for the Virginia, DC, Maryland, Delaware, and Pennsylvania region, I've supported in electing our very first U.S. representative, Oye Owolewa, Dr. Oye Owolewa, who you have heard today. April Ademiluyi, our very first Nigerian American judge in the state of Maryland. Carol Kazim in Pennsylvania, who outsat a 40-year incumbent family for the state rep in the 159th district. Wala in Maryland just won the primaries in District 5 in Maryland, and Commissioner Remi Duile ran a great race. As chair of the health segment of NAPAC also, the founder of Mabel and I visited Luth and Naima in June this year to collaborate in cancer research and treatment of patients with cancer. Our Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, CEO of NIDCOM, was there with us at Luth. NEPAC is doing great work. It was through this work that I encountered Benga Ogunjimi, the founder and CEO of the Nigerian Center. I came to DC to celebrate the Biden's administration Nigerian American appointees that was attended by the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa. Benga was not able to attend, but we met in the lobby. I was dying to meet him after, he excitedly introduced his project about the Nigerian Center to me, at which time it was in the infant stages, and we nurtured it together. Here we are today. What a journey. Benga. Benga is humble to the T. He gave me 3 minutes to talk. He made a mistake. Benga will not talk about himself, and so I'm going to beg your indulgence to just say a few words about this amazing young man. Ever since I met him, he's been focused, organized, hardworking, honest, a man of integrity, calm and assertive. Above all, he loves the Lord. He does what he says he will do. He's a pride of Nigeria. Benga, you have made us proud. Not just at NAPAC. Not just at NAPAC, that you are also a member of, but the Nigerian community as a whole. I thank God for your life, and I thank you for your audacity to take on the creation and management of the Nigerian Center to change lives, to better lives. You have a burning in your heart for a bigger community. This is just the beginning. NAPAC will be your ambassador to carry this torch that you have just lit today to the remaining 51 states, wherever Nigerians are. I thank Mayor Muriel Bowser for taking the step to proclaim October 1st as Nigerian American Day. She did not just honor a Nigerian community, she honored the whole Africa. Because as Nelson Mandela said, the world will not respect Africa until Nigeria earns that respect. The black people of the world need Nigeria to be great as a source of pride and confidence. This is one of the steps to earn that respect. And so, we thank Mayor Muriel Bowser and Benga Ogunjimi. God bless you. This proclamation is a unifying force. Now, at the Nigerian Center, we have a place where we can talk about our culture, food, music, and much more. A place to empower and build. Oh my gosh, Benga has big things coming. Stay tuned. This is our new home. It's not about this building. It's about changing our mindset, realizing our common goal, our common dream, our culture. This is a giant step in the right direction. If we had a center like this, when I first came to the US, my path to medical school and to medicine would not have been as convoluted as it was. There would have been doctors to guide me and to help me navigate smoothly. Benga, thank you again. NAPAC is here not just to support the center alone, but anyone and everyone who chooses to dream with us. you can pursue your political aspirations with guidance and support needed for success. We have moved from diversity to inclusion. And as an immigrant, I say that the Nigerian Center will be the place where dreams come true and greater heights are achieved. Thank you, Benga. Thank you, Mayor Muriel Bowser. Thank you, everyone.
Greetings from Nigerians and Diaspora Americas, NIDO A Greater Washington, D.C. Metro Chapter. All protocol observed. NIDO was established about 22 years ago as the umbrella organization of diverse Nigerian organizations in the diaspora to harness the vast resources and talents in synergy to serve communities at home and abroad. NIDO A, as part of the greater worldwide NIDO, has chapters in the USA, Canada, and Brazil. NIDO ADC, the bridge, is one of the first 3 chapters in the Americas and has since its inception made strides in facilitating that connection for individuals, families, and communities alike in areas such as delivery of information and resources, referrals, advocacy, facilitating civic engagement, food security, mobilization of health and wellness activities, in addition to promoting cultural and relaxation events. We are therefore elated at being a part of this momentous occasion on the formal launching of the Nigerian Center. This center would certainly have been a welcome aid to NIDO ADC during the challenges we faced when the community at large was attempting to navigate the travel ban. We aspire to work with like-minded organizations to attain the vision and mission of the center. Together, we build and connect a better bridge for Nigerians and friends of Nigeria. Much appreciation goes to Mayor Bowser for the proclamation of Nigerian American Day and for the availability of resources towards the realization of the Nigerian Center. This action clearly demonstrates that our works advocating then for the Office of African Affairs many moons ago continues to yield successes. Congratulations to Brother Gbenga Ogunjimi, the center, and all that were instrumental to its actualization. NIDO ADC welcomes further inquiry and engagement of services within our community. I thank you. Eshe, Dalu, Nagode.
Good afternoon, everybody. There's a saying that Nigerians tend to be long-winded. There's also a saying that when people have gray hair, they get long-winded. So I'll challenge myself to defy that assumption, and I'll be as contrite as possible. I think I do understand the assignment. So, as an introduction, I'm Dr. Hamonike. I wear many hats. I'm a Nigerian American. I was born here in the United States, but grew up in Nigeria. I'm an orthopedic surgeon practicing both here in the Washington District of Columbia, in Maryland, Virginia, and also in Nigeria. I have practices in Lagos and Owerri. Also consider myself a businessman. I have practices, as mentioned, in Nigeria and some other businesses that are startups. I'm a father of 2 boys who are also Nigerian Americans, and I'm here today specifically as the representative, former president of the Association of Nigerian Physicians in America. I was born here, grew up in Nigeria. My parents were students, as the ambassador's representative pointed out, is one of the driving forces for Nigerians to immigrate to the United States, and that is also reflected in my own story. Education was seen as a holy grail of sorts. My parents subsequently took us back to Nigeria because it was an era where there was a pride in being African and a push for subject matter experts and other professionals to return to Nigeria, and that was my experience growing up there. But in my life, I've had the advantage, I should say, of going back and forth, and that has given me a very unique vantage point of seeing the excellence in Nigeria and the opportunity in Nigeria, in America, and trying to figure out ways to connect the two. And I bring that all home today to say that the Nigerian Center, to me, very much so resonates with that opportunity that we have a country that is blessed with tremendous potential, tremendous human ability, and excellence, and America that also has that is the land of opportunity. So I look forward to, in my role in various capacities, particularly as a representative of the Association of Nigerian Physicians in America, to strategically align with the vision and mission of the Nigerian Center and all the other organizations that are here today, and the Nigerian citizenry in the U.S. in general. And I look forward to this being a catalyst to what we in the Nigerian community have long recognized, that our country and our people are on the ascendancy, and we welcome the further recognition by the mayor's office and others here in the United States to make that potential more possible. And I thank you for the invitation to be here today, and I look forward to the greater potential in front of us and being part of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can we give a round of applause for this panel one more time, please? And Dr. Onyeka, you did well. You did good. You were concise. I appreciate you. Okay, so I'm going to ask this beautiful dais to go return to the audience. We have one more set of folks for you, and then we'll be taking questions from the audience and from the press. Now we're moving into the space around the immigration clinic, which is very exciting. So I'd like to bring back Benga Ogujimi, who is the founder and CEO of the Nigeria Center. Benga, where are you? Where's Benga? Okay, well, we're finding Benga. Mr. Melvin Jarrett, who is an immigration attorney associated with the Nigerian Center, and artist Manny Wells, who will also be joining us up here. Welcome. Yep, come on, right here. We're going to jump right into it. Okay, yes. So just to reintroduce, we're going to have you all raise your hand so we know who we're talking about. Benga Ogujimi, who is the CEO of the Nigeria Center. And then we also now have Mr. Melvin Jarrett, who is an immigration attorney, and he's also associated with the Nigerian Center. And finally, Afrobeat artist Manny Wells. So they will be taking us through the discussion around the immigration clinic. Take it away.
So this particular segment is when we transition to the immigration clinic. And what we want to do today, we have the honor of a Nigerian American music artist and producer, Manny Wells. Is an advocate for immigration. We want to have him tell his story and lend his voice to us this cause. After which, we also have our own in-house immigration attorney, Melvin Jarrett, with the Nigerian Center. I want to talk briefly about the clinic, and we're going to take questions. So at this time, I'm going to pass the mic over to you, Manny Wells. Can we give it up for Manny Wells?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Manny Wells, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. I created a brand and a company called Ooh La La. And to us, Ooh La La just means happy to be alive. So if you're happy to be alive, say Ooh La La. Thank you. Yeah, my mom always told me that I was always like a jolly kid. She dropped me off in kindergarten and told me that I was consoling all the kids and asking them why they were crying. So I kept that I kept that attitude all the way to even now. Even through hardships, I'm able to push through, which is, I believe, to the glory of God. But I was born in Nigeria, and I came here when I was 9. And as a 9-year-old, you don't know anything about legal status or anything like that. Fast forward to like 2010-ish. That's when I started realizing like my legal status. I wanted to get a license, and my mom was like, "Ooh, psych." And I was like, "Okay, what do you mean by psych?" And then that's when they started like explaining my situation. Um, Shortly after that, my dad gets deported and goes back to Nigeria voluntarily, and so I had to kind of like step up in the household and become the man of the house. And that's when I just started to learn more about immigration and what I need to do to get to properly place myself in the states. Fast forward to 2012, Obama creates DACA. My sister and I applied for DACA, so we became DACA recipients, and that allowed us to work. Um, that allowed me to continue to chase my that allowed me to chase my musical dreams and aspirations. But my sister and I were 2 years apart, and so I decided to leave school because we couldn't afford to pay tuition for myself and my younger sister. And I just felt like I was going to be one of the greatest artists to ever live, and I still believe that. Um, and so I decided to do that, and by the grace of God, I'm here. I'm full time creative. I'm doing what I can in the States. However, not being able to travel to Nigeria is a big setback, but God is still like pushing me through, and I'm so happy to be alive. Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Melvin Jarrett, and I'll be running the immigration clinics and trying to get this program up and running. And I really want to applaud Benga for what you've done and the support that the rest of your staff has given you and getting this thing started. This is so important. If you notice, I don't have an accent, but I'm from Sierra Leone. When he reached out and said, "Hey, would you help us out?" I said, "I'm not Nigerian." And he said, "That's okay. We're all from the same place. We all travel the same path. We wear different shoes, but our destination remains the same." Um, that's what we're here to do, to make sure that people have the opportunity to succeed in this country and also across the world. All right? When Benga reached out to me, I thought about it. I said, man, my experience is limited. However, I really, really, really want to do this. And he said, well, I'll work with you. I give you some flexibility. So I reached out to somebody that I knew had been doing immigration for a long time. And he started out his career doing missions in South America and learning their language. And I went to his office. I said, and the attorney here is Hale Halbaker. And I'm terrible with names. But I reached out to him and I said, I would like your help. I need to get a clinic and a program up and running, and I don't have enough experience. However, the founder said he likes the fact that I'm from the African continent and I can help. And he said, you know what? I started my career, my life, my training in immigration by doing a mission to South America. And he told me his story. And I know this is about the African diaspora, but the people that are here when we come here to help us also have great stories, migration stories. Like I said, he went to South America, did a first mission there, came back, and he said, you know what? I'm going to help you. I don't care. I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to do clinics. I'm going to do workshops, whatever you need. And I reached out to Benga. I said, we got a battle staff. This man, I went to his office. He has 11 paralegals working for him. A battle staff, true battle staff. That's what we need. That's what we're going to do. All right. I also brought Andre Batson with me. Andre has been in the trenches with me. We battled on a couple of clients. The first client that we had together was a Sierra Leonean. And I was so proud that she walked in while I was doing the clinic. And she was surprised when I said, Cabo. You guys understand, right? Cabo. Now we use this when I come. All right? You're welcome.
So at this time, we're going to be taking questions. Um, so Mervin always asks me to preface and say, I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice. So, so we're going to be taking questions from the press first, and also from the audience. So we have Q&A right now.
Does anybody have questions?
Yeah, great. Melbourne Foot, constituency for Africa. Congratulations, first off. You're doing wonderful work. My question has to do with, I'm proud of you guys. I think that what you're doing is right on point, and I'm glad that you're here in Anacostia in the black community. My question has to do with how does the Nigerian Center going to work with the African Americans who are here? And as we speak right now, African Americans here in Anacostia are being pushed out, even, you know. creating more so-called refugees going other places. So what is the relationship with the Nigerian Center? I myself an African American, but 40% of my DNA is Ivorian, 20% is Ghanaian, and 10% is Nigerian. So I have a stake in this conversation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Melvin. So I was pointing to proclamation and said, we welcome you in the Nigerian American community. So to your question, um, as Melvin said, and also the congressman said, while we are called the Nigerian Center, our doors are open to all immigrant and all minority groups in the country. We started our cultural program with Yoruba and Igbo classes, and we have, in fact, 100% enrollment was from the African American community. Uh, so there is a yearning and this renewed sense of passion and interest to connect back to the African culture. And such a platform like this become very, very important. So one of the ways we're going to do that is our cultural series. Every Nigerian here is a cultural ambassador. In my own particular story, when I first came here through the State Department, I was very intentional to cross the bridge. Literally cross the east of the river bridge from northwest to southeast Washington, D.C. Because I was very curious and very intentional to connect to the community here. Right here in Anacostia, I had an apartment, and this has been my office for close to over 10 years now in this community. And when I started my first overseas service program, my very first participant was my landlord, which is an African American. And she said, can I go and serve in Nigeria? Um, she was able to serve in Senegal. Um, she got married in Senegal. And now she has a Senegalese American family together. So I'm saying that Nigerian Center will be a cultural conduit, an ambassador to the African American community who wants to connect. We also have home ownership program. As you know, the mayor recently constituted a task force and had this vision from home ownership in Washington, D.C. We've been running our home ownership series, and we really want our folks to have residency in the nation's capital because this is probably the only time we can do it. So our doors are open, and it would be an honor to continue to serve. I can't talk more about the cases about immigration. I don't really know much of that. But one of the Q&As that we do in our Know Your Right immigration workshops, we also have African Americans whose parents are veterans and serve, and they were born overseas, and you would not even imagine they might have immigration issues as well. So now they can now turn to the center, and they can have 100% legal costs covered by the center. We also have financial inclusion program. Those who come from overseas, we know that we have a different financial paradigm coming to America. We don't believe in debt overseas, but in America, credit is king. So one of the things we do now is we have credit building loan programs without collateral, without credit score. That same program is open to all communities who come to our doors. So these are some of the ways in which we'll continue to engage with the community. Plus, we are located right here. And I'm so glad. I know it was an exciting time finding parking, but thank you for coming to our part of town.
Good morning, everybody. And thank you very much for setting up a center like this. Like everybody has said, I echo their comments. It's something that we really need. So I just want to find out what is the process. Is there a referral process or do people just come in here? And I know our brother asked about the Black African Americans community utilizing this service, but is it also open to non-Nigerians, other African countries? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. So we do have a walk-in immigration clinic. So right now the clinic is going to hold once a week every Thursdays from 12:30 to 4:30. You can walk in. You don't have to schedule an appointment. You can walk right into this building. So once you come through the doors, there will be immigration advocates that's going to greet you at the door and walk you through and begin the intake enrollment process. You are also able to schedule an appointment if you call the phone office, office phone numbers, or you can submit an online inquiry on the website. We're going to follow up with you. I should say that at this time, our priority are Washington, D.C. residents. Um, but that said, anyone from any part of the country is welcome to walk through the doors. We are expanding our partnership base with community organizations. If you work with one of those organizations mentioned here, including churches and mosques and place of worship, there are various welfare department and community service programs to send folks from that community to the Nigerian Center to get legal services. That is what, for those type of programs, we're going to have a referral program. And it's pretty much them saying, contact Nigerian Center, you will be served. You do not have to be Nigerian to get our services. Our services are open to everyone who walk through our doors. I'm going to let Melvin also touch one or two things.
And can you hear me? And as Benga said, everybody's welcome. You don't have to be Nigerian. You can be from anywhere migrating here. If you have an immigration issue, you're welcome. Once you walk through that door, your consultation is going to be free. And if I can't help you, I'm going to have staff here. I'm going to have paralegals that are going to be able to get people started with applications, get you signed up on the immigration service website, and get an account started. Anything that you need when you walk through that door, we'll be able to provide that for free. If you have a complicated situation and we have to refer you out, I have attorneys that I work with that are willing to help also. Um, there are also other programs in DC to help pay for some of the representation. Let's say you needed to go to court, it became a complicated issue. But my goal is to make this transition for anybody coming here an easy, seamless transition, as easy as possible.
We really want to acknowledge and thank all the media organizations and thank you for the high suspense you gave us. You wouldn't confirm if you were coming. You keep telling us you will see us when you see us. So we appreciate you. we, we, we do appreciate you for coming as well. All the speakers that you've heard from, all the various organizations, all the community leaders, and the entire community, thank you for joining us to make history. Thank you very much.